2, 3.
So we're talking about the bridge jump from our wedding. The one that I turned into an Instagram reel, and it went viral, and we got a lot of comments saying how stupid we were to have done something like that.
The comments weren't totally off base. People have drowned in wedding dresses before, but we also didn't just wake up one day and decide to do that. So here's a little bit more of the backstory of how we ended up jumping off a bridge in our wedding attire.
Let your husband help come up with cute photo ideas for your wedding, they said. It'll be so fun, they said. You'll look cute. How badly could it possibly go?
So one part of the Instagram video is true. The photo op was my idea. We got married right outside of Glacier National Park. A lot of the wedding photographers there have an add-on nature session in addition to photographing your actual wedding. I had seen the classic bride and groom jump off the dock photo. I thought that we could add a little bit of a twist or maybe some more spice by jumping off of a cliff.
You kind of just desensitized me to the idea over time. The only thing blocking us from doing this was my irrational fear of heights.
I can't do it. It's so scary. Why is it so scary?
As hundreds of people in the comments were quick to point out, jumping off of anything into a body of water while wearing a dress isn't the best idea. A lot of people focused on examples of brides who have died doing the same thing.
I had a tragic story of a bride who fell to her death. The Quebec woman was taking wedding pictures near a waterfall north of Montreal today. Her dress became saturated with the water, and the weight of that waterlogged dress actually pulled her in and under.
And then in 2015, a bride nearly drowned before her friends were able to save her. So being in the water in your wedding dress is not a safe activity.
I wanted to make sure we had a good plan. It's also important to call out the fact that Emily was a Division I college swimmer and was also MVP of the team twice.
And Ryan was a college diver.
That doesn't make this jump automatically safe, but we were a little bit more comfortable in water than the average person. In terms of the specific spot to jump, after researching some ideas and spots in and around Glacier National Park, the bridge kind of seemed like it would be the best option. I went there with a few friends to scope it out ahead of time. I actually put goggles on and swam around and checked out the depth, jumped off of it a few times to feel out the height and see kind of how far you had to swim to reach safety, so to speak.
Yeah, but you were still worried about my wedding dress waterboarding me. So we also had to make a bunch of plans for that as well. Plan A was jump in with my arms down. So, you know, as I go underwater, hopefully it doesn't come up over my head. Plan B, we had unzipped it before jumping in. So if after like 5 seconds I'm underwater and I'm not able to come up, I would try to swim out of the dress. And plan C, if that doesn't work, Ryan would just push me the like 10, 15 feet to the left to get to ground where I could stand.
2 days after our wedding, we left at 4 in the morning to drive to Glacier National Park and take some photos in front of an absolutely freezing sunrise at McDonald Lake.
I cried on the way there that morning. It was such a disaster. I was so sleep deprived and exhausted from the wedding. I had to do my own hair and makeup, and as we're going, I'm not looking any better. I'm puffy, and it was a disaster.
By the time we got to the bridge, vibes were high. It was maybe 50 degrees outside. The water was even colder than the air.
So we laid out our towels, the photographer got in place, and then we climbed up the bridge, climbed over the railing, and then I balked.
Are you good?
I'm good.
Okie doke, we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, and we're going on 3.
Okay.
One, 2, 3.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I kind of knew you might not jump. We're counting down like a 3, 2, 1. I was not planning to jump on the count. I was watching your feet and was gonna jump when you jumped, which turned out to be a good move.
My heart is literally racing thinking about it. I am so afraid of heights, and I was like, could you imagine if I had messed that up? And the actual photo, like you were drenched and I was dry, like, So thank heavens I didn't ruin it, and I knew I just had to like squeeze my eyes shut and panic jump on the count of 3 and hope for the best. So I did it.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. And plan A worked totally fine. You kept your arms down and didn't seem like you had any issues at all.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. It was cold water, but it was fine. And for everyone in the comments who said that the photographer failed, please, she nailed it. We got the greatest photo out of that. I cannot wait to blow it up and get it framed and hung when we don't live in a van one day.
Anyway, that's our story. Don't jump into water with wedding dresses on.
And my dress came out cleaner than it went in. How about that?